Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel, That Conversation with Repinya. And tonight I'm going to be reviewing Housewives of Atlanta, Season 14, Episode 16. Wrapping it up, y'all. Okay, you know how we start. We're going to start off with the 3 categories. Actually, I'm only going to do 2 of the categories. So I'm going to start off with the Librarian's Honor. So the Librarian's Honor is going to go to Ruan. And she is Sheree's fashion show planner. So she and Kenya had a back and forth in this episode. And she kind of was reading Kenya. She was kind of giving her a run for her money. And really calm about it. There was a part where she told Kenya when they went back and forth, she said, confetti. And so that was funny. That was funny to me. So the Librarian's Honor is going to go to Ruan. Next we have Layden Slade. So we're going to give Layden Slade to Kenya. Now hold on. The reason why I'm giving it to Kenya, because that's the same scene with Ruan, Sheree, and Kenya at the venue that they're going to have the models practicing. So they're going to be interviewing models here, and Kenya walked in and she had on this black dress, super cute. It was a cute dress. It fit her really cute. So that day she when she came up there, she knew what she was doing. So Layden Slade is going to go to Kenya. So the episode starts off with Candy. So we have Candy and her son Ace going in to see a acting coach. So we know that Candy and Todd has been getting Ace into acting a little bit. So they took him to go see an acting coach, and he did really, really well. It seems like he's really serious about acting, and he's so cute. Again, when I don't see the kids for a while, it's really good seeing them. So good job, Ace. He did a really, really good job. Okay, next we see Marlo having a conversation with her sister Crystal. Now you guys know the boys are coming back now. Remember, in previous episodes, Marlo had kicked the boys out. And so the 30 days are coming to where they're going to be coming back home. So they'll be returning back to Marlo in 5 days. So we see Marlo on the phone talking to Crystal. And they were making jokes because Crystal was like, I'm going to bring them tonight. And Marlo was like, no, I need a little more time. So Marlo seems excited that the boys are coming back. So in the next scene, this is where we have Sheree meeting up with her fashion planner. So Ruan is there with Sheree. And Sheree lets Ruan know that she has invited her friend to come and help them pick out some models for the She by Sheree fashion show. So she did kind of warn Ruan that she was inviting Kenya, and Kenya can be a little bit shady. So she kind of gave her a heads up. So Kenya came in and said hi, and she was, she was nice. She was in good spirits, and she spoke to everyone. And as they were trying to pick some models, Kenya kind of pointed out a few things. So she had asked Ruan, since she was the person in charge, why not have them change the seating, because they had it to where they were sitting on the side, so as the models walked in, they wouldn't be able to see them walking, right? So Kenya asked if they can switch seating so they can see the models actually walking towards them, to kind of, see which models they were going to pick. And so Ruan was like, basically, I'm doing this, and, she has experience doing this. This is kind of what she does. And so she ended up switching it for Kenya. And then Kenya pointed out some other things. And it kind of seemed like Kenya was kind of trying to take over the model search. However, she had a few good points. But Ruan's a professional. She didn't like it at all. So they were going back and forth throughout this scene, and Sheree was so funny. She kept looking this way and looking that way. Each time each person threw shade at each other. It was funny. It was funny because after they were going back and forth, Kenya and Ruan ended up saying to Kenya, confetti. So it was funny. You had to have been there. Hopefully you guys tuned in. Hopefully you tuned in. But it was so funny. So let's just mosey on over to the photo shoot. In this scene, we have Ralph doing his photo shoot for his book cover. And we have Drew there. And then Drew's mother came to kind of like support him in the photo shoot. And while they were there, when Ralph had taken a break, Drew told her mom that Ralph is actually not going to be adopting JoJo. And that's Drew's son. But it's not Ralph's son. So previously, Ralph did tell JoJo that he was going to adopt him. Then he decided not to do it. So this is the first time the mom is hearing that he's not going to adopt JoJo. So this kind of made her upset, you know, because she doesn't understand why he has changed his mind. So I feel like in the end, she ended up, I mean, because what can she do? She ended up, you know, just accepting the fact that it's not going to happen. But she does feel like Ralph should go ahead and adopt him, since he told Josiah that he was going to do it. And I agree. I feel like if Ralph wasn't going to adopt him, why did he even have that conversation with that kid? I feel like, you know, it's a cop-out. You know, you don't tell a child that you're going to adopt them, and the child is excited about that, and then later on decide to just not do it, right? I don't agree with Ralph. Moving on. In the next scene, we see that Drew and Sheree has planned a birthday party for Kenya and Marlo, because their birthdays are in the same month. And I don't know why Drew would have thought this was a good idea. Nevertheless, she and Sheree decided to go ahead and, you know, go half on this party. And so they start doing the planning. So she and Sheree are going to be splitting the bill. And as it gets closer to the time for the ladies to show up, Drew was waiting on Sheree to show up. Sheree comes in late, and you can tell that she was kind of preoccupied when she came in. So she came in, and Drew had already decorated, you know, for the party. So she had the balloons, and she, you know, had the food and everything there. And she was like, Sheree, you're late. So she was trying to fill Sheree in before everyone started arriving to the party. She was trying to fill Sheree in with like the cost, because they were supposed to split the cost. And she let Sheree know that, you know, she spent $700 on the balloons. And she had spent, I think, $500 or something like that on the DJ. And Sheree was not feeling that. She was like, hold up, wait, what? You know, how could you be ordering and doing all this and, you know, without letting me know? And Drew was like, no, you already knew. You know, we both decided to share the cost of the party. But Sheree feels like, you know, that's too much, $700 for balloons. And she was shading the party, saying that it's like a kid's party, having balloons and stuff. And but you know, Sheree doesn't really like to spend money, so I don't know why Drew would go ahead and make these decisions without her, especially when almost this whole episode, almost this whole season, Drew has been coming for Sheree, you know, about, you know, people saying that she doesn't pay her bills and stuff like that. And so Sheree is like, she's not doing it, you know. So they had their little back and forth, and then we see that people start arriving to the party, and so the ladies start arriving. Candy showed up, Sanya showed up. Drew was already there, and poor Drew, she was on because her foot is hurt still. She had Achilles surgery, so she was on like this scooter with her foot up, and but she was still trying to, you know, do what she had to do to host a party. And then we see Marlo and Kenya actually show up at the same time. And so it was so funny because Kenya can tell that Marlo was behind her. So Kenya was, walking to the door. And when she got to the door, she actually slammed the door in Marlo's face. And Marlo was like, wait a minute, Kenya. I know you saw me behind you. And every moment these ladies get, they're awful to each other. And so Kenya and them, they go there, and the ladies inside are trying to like surprise them because they told Kenya and Marlo that the party was for, I think it was for Drew or something like that. I'm not sure. They made up something. So Kenya and Marlo had no idea that the party was actually for them. And so when they walked in, everyone was like, surprise, happy birthday. Drew was able to get Kenya's cousin Shay there. So Shay flew in for the surprise party. And also she flew in some of Marlo's friends, like her best friend, and I think maybe some family members as well. So while they were there, the ladies seemed like they had a good time. Of course, there was a little bit of bickering between Marlo and Kenya, because Kenya is like, why would you throw a party for, she and Marlo and they don't get along? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Kenya kind of said she felt like it was more of an intervention than a birthday party. And, she wasn't really feeling it, but she was a good sport. So while the ladies were there, the cousin, I think it was either Marlo's friend or cousin, was telling everyone that she tells Marlo, don't fight with Kenya. So it kind of seemed like she was a Kenya Moore fan. So I was looking like, I wonder if she's a Kenya Moore fan, because it seemed like she was fanning out a little bit over Kenya. But she said that she, was letting us know that Marlo's a really good person, like she's really nice and stuff like that. And I don't expect her to say anything else, but Marlo's a good friend. Why would she say anything negative about Marlo? But Marlo, we see you. We see your works. So if you've been watching Housewives, you've seen how Marlo moves and how Marlo she's not the nicest person. So I don't know. While the ladies were arguing, Drew asked her mom, can you come and just say grace, pray over the food, to kind of like shift it a little bit. And so Drew's mom said some prayers, and then Kenya and Marlo started talking. They was trying to figure out how they got to the point, of no return, to where they can't fix their friendship. And so they started dredging up the past, and that just made things worse. I mean, it just changed the whole mood and the whole vibe, and it just started going left all over again. And once everyone saw that was happening and there was tension, they just moved on. So they celebrated a little bit and laughed a little bit, and I guess they ended up having a good time. But overall, I don't know if it was a good idea. I just don't think it was a good idea to have those two share a birthday party. And so the ladies start talking about by Sheree's fashion show. So they was asking Sheree, how are you doing? How's the fashion show coming along? Is everything good? And she was like, she don't have all of the pieces, right? She had told us that some of the pieces were in Alaska before. So now she's saying she only has like 5 pieces, and the fashion show is like around the corner. So again, she's trying to make us believe that she doesn't have anything organized, and the thing is a disaster, and she don't have all the clothing, and she spent $1 million overall. That's what she said, but I know she was joking. But she was just letting us know how frustrated she was. But I'm kind of thinking that Sheree is pulling our leg, because I feel like this entire time, as she talks about the upcoming fashion show, it's always a problem. It's never been a time where she's like, okay, yeah, everything's on point. Everything has been like this, like dreadful story. And I don't understand. I'm like, why is everything like not ready to go? Right? Because she's been working on this She by Sheree line or this clothing line for like 14 years. So I'm not understanding. I'm not buying it. I feel like she has everything together, but she wants to make us believe that she doesn't. So I don't know. Moving on. Okay, you guys. So we have Sheree meeting up with someone, but we can't tell who it is that she's meeting up with. So she's at I don't know what restaurant she's at. She's at an eatery. So in walks Apollo. So you know that Apollo was one of the house husbands, one of the Real Housewives of Atlanta husbands in the previous seasons. So he's coming in to talk to Sheree. So Sheree lets us know when Apollo sits down that she and Apollo have formed a relationship over the years, just a friendship, and that she lost contact with him. So she really wanted to talk to him because, you know, Tyrone, her prison bae, is out now, and she kind of wanted to know, you know, some of the trickery that goes on. So he was letting her know that, you know, come on, Sheree, the men that are incarcerated, they play women all the time. So, you know, just giving her some game and some insight on, you know, some of the games that they're playing, like when they're incarcerated. So I mean, I would have thought that Sheree would have known. I don't know why, but I feel like she should have been more knowledgeable as it relates to that. So he was like letting her know that, yeah, you know, they be having other, you know, women that they talk to, or they act like, you know, they're really, really interested while they're in, and then when they get out, it's a whole story, a whole different story. So Sheree was like letting them know, yeah, Tyrone ghosted her, and you know, so she was really hurt. And then later on, Sheree lets us know, because Apollo used to model, she said in the past that she asked Apollo if he can be a part of the fashion show, and if he can model in some of her menswear, so some of the men pieces, and he seemed like he was excited about it, and he ended up saying yes, he's gonna model. And they finished talking a little bit about, you know, Tyrone, and he was telling Sheree, you know, to just move on at this point. Like, you know, we all know, we all saw it this season that Tyrone was playing games with her. And so Apollo was like telling Sheree to just focus on herself, you know, just focus on her. And it seems like he really has Sheree's best interest at heart. So this was a short episode. So that was like the end of the episode. This was like a filler episode to me. They had like some funny parts in this episode. I liked the part where Ruan and Kenya kind of like went back and forth. But other than that, I think because, you know, we're wrapping up the season, that, you know, they're just trying to get to the finale. And yeah, that was it. Overall, I really liked this episode. You guys, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you can be updated on when I post another video. And get down in the comments. Let me know what you thought about this episode. If you watched this season or not. You know, just kind of let me know. If you guys actually did see that part with Kenya and Ruan, let me know who you thought threw the most shade. I don't know. I think Ruan, she was kind of like calm with it. She was throwing some subtle jabs at Kenya. So it was good to see somebody that was like not afraid to actually challenge Kenya. I kind of try to give her a run for her money. I mean, she didn't, but she tried. So yeah. See you in the next episode. Bye.